Coach, a chance to evaluate the film now that you've been home. Anything stand out positive or negative? And if so, what is that?
I don't think anything hugely negative. I think that the positive is we played hard. Our answer to problems lately is to play hard, which I think is a good thing. The negative is just when we get these little stretches of inconsistency. And, if you're going to do something like that, which everybody's going to at some time, you want it to be one play. We don't do it for, a whole quarter or anything like that, but we might for a whole series. And so we got to knock that out,
Mike, the last time that you and this team were down in Baton Rouge, a big moment for the program. Not only did KJ have all those yards, but you guys knocked off the defending national champs. I mean, what are some of your favorite memories from that game?
It was a good game. I thought we played well. I thought we had good momentum, and I thought we especially answered some key third downs, and so, it was a good one to win and good place to play, and so, yeah.
Coach, y'all got in yesterday morning. It was a long trip, I know. But
yeah, like 10 a.m.
Did that affect y'all's schedule at all? Did y'all take the day off yesterday? What kind of effect did y'all have on that?
No, it just made it a tougher schedule. Just, got in around 10, let everybody go do whatever they had to do until about 4, and then, go sleep or whatever till 4, and then it was kind of dinner and business as usual. So we pushed everything a little later.
Coach, obviously a good performance there from Ben, stepping in for Massimo. Do you expect him to be the starting guy moving forward now?
No, I'm not sure. I think, he certainly did some good things. We'll see in practice and evaluate it.
From what maybe you've seen so far of this LSU team, what stands out to you, and then specifically a quarterback like Jaden Daniels, who's a dual threat that seems to be developing as a passer?
Good player. He's a good player. We played him when he was at Arizona State. Can definitely help himself out with his feet, and his coverage breaks down and he throws it up. You can be in trouble if you don't keep track of him. So sometimes it gives you two things to keep track of. And LSU's a little bit tough to evaluate from the standpoint they got a lot of new faces. They were big into the transfer thing, so we'll see how all those guys turn out, and it's still, I think it's still unfolding.
Coach Arnett's defense continues to do good things for you guys. I guess thinking back on it, had you ever, thinking back to bringing Zach Arnett in, had you ever had a 3-3-5 defensive scheme kind of run before? And I guess what was kind of your thought process whenever you brought in Zach and wanted him to run that scheme?
Well, we'd had some things that sort of resembled it, but not fully committed to it. And then I'd gone against it a number of times. At Tech, every year we'd play New Mexico early in the season. And, of course, they ran it. And then Rocky Long was their head coach and did a really good job and did a tremendously good job running the defense. And then even if we put some points on them, they'd still end up, in the top 3 in the country defensively, so I couldn't help but admire that. And then, of course, we actually played Joe Lee Dunn when I was at Kentucky 2 games when they ran it, and I've had a lot of respect for it for years. And then, but it's kind of one of those things where, you don't just buy a book and have somebody, read a few chapters and you run it. I mean, you need a guy that kind of grew up in it, because there's other guys that grew up in that defense, but they don't have the nerve to call it. So, you need a guy, one, that knows it, and 2, that's not afraid to call it. So,
Coach, LSU tried to out-athlete you guys in 2020 and lost, and last year kind of mimicked what other people do with the drop 8. Third defensive coordinator in 3 years. Does it really matter what they run? Or are you just kind of true to what you're going to do? And how do you kind of approach that when there's a change in defensive philosophy?
Well, we have to identify it. We have to be good at identifying it. I thought, last year, I thought, we certainly could have won that game. We didn't. But, the biggest thing is react and respond to what they do. But, just keep executing what you do is the most important thing. So I think you want to identify it. You want to kind of pinpoint your package around what you think will be best, and then you, no matter what happens, execute. Whether you pick the perfect play or not, if you execute it, you still got a chance.
New head coach at LSU, obviously, Brian Kelly. What do you think of his resume, of him as a coach, and what's your relationship kind of like with him?
I've known him from a distance for a long time. I was in small college the same time he was, so I've always liked him. He's a guy that takes the X's and O's seriously. He's not in this business. There's a few sweater wearers. They just want to wear the sweater and point various directions and things like that, and then just kind of a PR figure. But he's not that. He's always been in the thick of it and always a very knowledgeable X and O guy. So I've always liked him.
Mike, going back to that the fourth down play that Will had that touchdown to Austin, Will had kind of said that originally you were trying to draw Arizona off sides, and then he made the switch at the line or called the play at the line. I guess what did he see on that play pre-snap, and how much confidence do you have with him to make a call like that in a big situation?
We let him do it quite a bit. And then the other thing is, kind of depends what they give you. I mean, sometimes you've got something that looks pretty good, and sometimes you don't. And you have to be able to react quickly to it. So I can't say we'd always do it, but in that situation, you guys would be raising hell if we hadn't gotten it, but we did. So, but I think that you want something where, you're not just kind of in the rhythm of making a good play, but you kind of see something positive, whether it's space or leverage or numbers or something that you can jump on quick. And if you don't, then you're better off kicking it or calling a timeout.
Mike, do you think a win at LSU is important for this team's confidence, or with you guys being somewhat older, do you like where this team's head is with that?
Well, they're kind of similar teams. They're kind of older too. So, I guess we're kind of old on defense, and we're not very old on offense. We got some experience, but I think both teams are kind of similar that way. You just got to beat LSU because they're the next guy who's on the schedule, and they're all important, and you only get one of them a week, so give them all your full attention.
Kind of following up on that, some people are saying this is a season or defining type game. I mean, how do you kind of combat some of that and just kind of keep guys locked in, doing their job, focusing on this week and not making too much of the game?
You just line up each week and play one defining game after the next, and then after a while, after let's say 12 defining games, you figure out where you're at. You just do the best you can each game, and then and try to focus on what we're trying to do in our building, and which is focus on kind of the specifics of improving.
What's kind of the morale and confidence been like from this team since the end of the Arizona game to now? What's that all kind of been like, locker room wise and just team wise?
Well, I think they're excited to get to work tomorrow. I think today's a good day to have off, not just physically but academically, and then I saw, and obviously I think they're probably still recovering a little from 10 a.m. yesterday, and then but we had good work last night, so I think they're excited to prepare this week.
Coach, Xavier Thomas, I think, was back returning punts this week. What did you think of him and how he handled that, and what are your thoughts on how he's handled camp and leading into the season now?
First of all, he's a very talented guy, very eager to play. I think he continues to get better and kind of smart and aggressively, attacks the task of getting better. Not a guy that goes out there and is afraid to play, is confident in his abilities to play, and I think continues to get better at returning punts, and, I expect, he'll keep improving, so.
Mike, on the broadcast, you kind of looked a little puzzled at the time when it happened. Did you get any explanation on that unsportsmanlike penalty on the coaching staff?
Yeah, I don't know what all I can talk about on that, but I get so picky on this. Well, let me just say that from a technical standpoint, and not in any way, shape, or form, referring to officiating on any level. But as a coach, if you need to do your complaining in the white there off the field, as opposed to on the field, it's the rules are more aggressive if you're on the field than if you're on the sideline.
Should there have been like a sideline warning? Did you guys get a sideline warning at all?
No sideline warning.